Get out of here. You got to go.
What's up there?
You're not welcome here. T. You got to go. 15 minutes. Will you put this in the, hold on a second. Put this in the sink for me. And throw this away. Yes, Your Majesty. Thank you. Both of you leave. Thank you so much. I love you more than life itself. Please leave this room. Ask me. Ask Ellipses anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Look at this. It's Tian Fu on my shirt.
Yeah. Cool.
You know what is such a turnoff to my husband is me wearing this shirt.
What about your last week's shirt, which was like 5 Tian Fus?
That is cool. I think it's just like a little like, oh, okay. Are you okay?
But just one is too much. One is too intimate.
A fan made it. It says
it's cute.
Snow Peach at the bottom, like a jazz album.
It
the
does
sounds of a snow peach. I want to start by saying we will be doing, and it takes a long time to do these, but we will be doing another Be Our Guest segment. So if you would like to be our guest on the podcast, you could submit on Patreon on the Be Our Guest thread. And I would also like to say that we have been poring over all the submissions for the podcast. And we really appreciate the requests. Just know, think of our podcast like a car, and your submissions are the gasoline that it runs on. And I'm the driver, and Emily is the little dog with its head out the window in the back. So you can submit
my head out the window.
Never. You could submit your questions to askellizapodcast@gmail.com. Please send them in. You can be anonymous. We take it very seriously. I want you to know you can trust us. I think we deserve your trust. We built it up. When she reads them, I never even see. By the time they get to me, I don't even see your name on there. And Emily takes this kind of stuff very seriously.
Names off. I lean on that. Actually, you know what? Here's a call out for everyone. If you really want your name said, make sure you write it in your comment or write it. You can say my name in an email, because if it has the little signature thing where it has your name grayed out, I'm assuming you didn't want me to read that. I am very cautious, but we're super excited to get both more questions in general, but also to have another guest, because we had so much fun. I made a cat-eared friend. So let's get some questions where we think Emily, we can dive in. Yeah.
Here's where I think you could be doing your job better. Can you just make up a fake name when they say anonymous? Can you be like, love Gert? Like, why can't you?
Is that what you? Well, because we haven't established that. So then what if they're like, okay, so in this episode, everybody, if you didn't give me a name, I'm going to give you a name like Gert, and you can't be pissed. Like, why'd you call me Gert?
Love Rabinathan. And then they'll come up to me at shows and they'll be like, I'm Rabinathan. I'm Gert.
Okay. All right.
I'm
I'll make up names for them, but they got to be chill about it. Not offended.
It's July 29th. We're coming up on August. It's hot. I continue to sometimes not wear makeup on our podcast, and that is my stance as a true woman. But just because I'm not in full makeup doesn't mean I won't give you my full attention. Take it away, Emily.
Dear AA crew, congratulations on 400 episodes. I've said in question before, your reply motivated me back then, so here I am again. And now this person immediately calls us out.
I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed. Come here. Come here, you little chicken nugget.
Okay, I'm naming this person Chicken Nugget, and she says her question was answered on the episode My Clog is Powerful, and she says the name was not toilet related, but about the clog in your nose during pregnancy.
Oh.
So I attributed one extra toilet to our toilet count. Thank you, Chicken Nugget, for keeping me honest. We're a friend group of 6 people with 3 couples.
Okay.
I met Matt and Rosie in 2009. They know each other through me. Later in life, Rosie's friend Julie got married to Matt. Rosie was my best friend until a year ago, which would be a whole different AIA question, which led to the group splitting up. Me and my boyfriend being out of the picture, since Rosie and Julie are friends since school and their husbands are also close.
Because Matt and Julie are together. Got it.
Yeah. About 3 years ago, we all went out together, and in a sentimental moment, yes, alcohol was involved, my boyfriend and I told Matt and Julie if we ever had kids, we would like for them to be the godparents.
Even though you hadn't seen them in a while.
Yeah. At the time, the 4 of us seemed to be heading toward a similar future. We're very close, and so it felt right. Fast forward to today. My boyfriend and I now have a 7-month-old, and we want to baptize him next year, more in a cultural than in a religious way. During my whole pregnancy and also since giving birth, Julie has never asked how I was doing or showed any interest in my baby. She did mention via WhatsApp that she is so sad that she hasn't met him yet, but never made an effort to visit or reply to my messages inviting her. The same goes for Matt, but he has made time once to see the baby and me. I feel like I am still friends with Matt, but definitely not as close as it was. Since we want the godparents to be people who actually care about us and would be involved, we want to ask another friend couple who is involved and happy for us. Now I need advice on how to break the news to Matt without ruining the friendship. I feel like it shouldn't come as a surprise to him and Julie, but I want to be honest with them and would still like to invite them to celebration, maybe because I want to resuscitate those friendships. Also, is it wrong to use my baby's celebration to try to connect with people who never find the time to meet us, even though we live 10 minutes apart? P.S. I've been to 3 of your shows. The last one was in September in Slovenia. I went there with my brother and my baby boy in my belly at the time, so he knows quality comedy and understands women right from the start. Best wishes from Vienna.
Oh, we love, as we call it, Wien in German. Slovenia is beautiful, and that show was great. And you need to let those friends go. You are in a whole, it is wrong to use that as a way to connect. You've tried. And the friendships have kind of like been off and on, and you love them more than they love you. You do not need to worry. First of all, the godparents, it's less about who you like and it's more about you pick people whose values line up with yours. Like your best friend in the world could be an absolute train wreck and you wouldn't want them raising your child. So you have to think about like financially who could do it, who would carry out your wishes, who would instill whatever religion you want, like who's most like you. Think about it like that, not just like we really think they're cool. Like maybe it's your cousin, maybe like I just want to put that in your ear because nobody wants to think about godparents, but this is like if you die, who would raise my child closest to how I would do it? And it may not always be the people you like the most. You don't owe this to anyone. I guarantee you Matt doesn't care about being a godfather. So set up your baptism, set up your party, make the announcement, and they're invited. You don't owe an apology, an explanation. And if you're really telling me that you've invited them to hang out several times and they've ignored it, then she doesn't have a leg to stand on. But this marks the beginning of you kind of moving into this new chapter, being friends with people. It's hard to be friends with people when you don't have kids, especially little kids who have kids. And it's not because one is bad or good or selfish. You're just in different life spaces. And it would be wild if she was like, I can't believe you said I was going to be the godmother. It's like, you never showed interest. You never met the kid. Have your party, invite the people you love. Do or don't invite them, but don't invite them hoping to reconnect. It's not going to get better once they see your beautiful baby. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Invite them, but don't plan on explaining away your decision. The less you say, and I have to relearn this over and over, the less you explain yourself, the less there is to explain, and the less people expect it.
Yeah. If they come rolling up to the baptism like, I thought I was the godmother. I've never met the baby, but why isn't it me? It's like, okay, well,
that's weird.
Get out of here, creep.
No, you want someone that would take an, and you know what? She might have a kid and then it might be different, but like, it's okay to miss people too. But also, do you want to be in the friendship where you're constantly reaching out and they're never reaching back out?
Yeah.
No, you're fine. These are not the godparents. And I think it's like, you're hoping if I do that, that it'll bring us closer. But also, like, just because someone is named the godparent, it's not legally binding either.
I don't think I have a godparent. Do you?
No, I don't. It doesn't really feel like a Jewish thing. But also, like, what matters is what's written in your will.
Yeah, I'm sure there was in the will. I knew what aunt was going to, like, get me. But I don't, there was never a ceremony about it.
No, that's truly a horrible thing to think about.
I'll take over if your parents ever die.
You have a husband and a beautiful baby to worry about and people who want to support you. It doesn't mean these people are bad. It just means like it's not a priority for her. So if it's not a priority for her to come over and meet your baby, it's definitely not going to be a priority to like raise that baby with your specific values.
Hi, Liza, Emily, and the AI crew. I'd love your guidance on something a little outside the usual workplace question. For context, I'm a 37-year-old female who has worked at the same financial institution for 10 years. For the last 3 years, I was fully remote. Late last year, my company required all employees living within 50 miles of an office to return 4 days a week. And by the way, Iliza, this is a big thing that's happening now, that 50-mile thing. And I saw this great thread on Reddit where
50?
A guy said,
that's an hour
within
away.
50, a guy bought a house 52 miles away. He was just about to buy a house. He bought it and he said he mapped it like 15 times before he put in the offer. And then he was like, I'm 52 miles away. I can't come in. Yeah.
What's to stop them from being like, it's actually 60? And like, why 50?
I don't know, but that's the number that I'm hearing from like everyone that I know who has to go into an office. It's such an arbitrary, like what it's just a way to, part of it is they're hoping people quit. They're hoping if they can get people to quit, they don't have to fire them. They save on over, blah, blah, blah. It's all. So it's annoying.
So you've been remote, and just recently they were like, you've been at the same place, and then in the last 3 years you were able to be remote. So it's a relatively new phenomenon. And now they're like, come on back.
Come back 4 days a week. Because of the added right, usually they do 2 or 3, 4 days a week. Because of the added commuting costs and, more significantly, increased childcare expenses for my 2-year-old son, I accepted a different internal role with a slight pay increase, but it's not work I'm passionate about. Recently, an internal posting opened that honestly felt like my dream job: customer experience insights and analysis, a significant salary increase, and room for advancement to SVP. I'm currently a VP, and my current role cap's there, associate vice president.
Oh, okay. We've associated.
Usually they cut it off there. Like if they're putting execs on a website or something, they only do like VP and above. Like
you
AVP.
Want that headshot. Got it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. SVP is where you get a headshot.
Okay.
I interviewed with the recruiter and it seemed to go well. She told me she was confident the hiring manager would want to meet with me and said I should expect an update by the next morning. She discussed a salary range higher than the posting listed, explained the next interview would likely be in person, hers was virtual, and encouraged me to reach out anytime with questions. What gave me pause was that she didn't immediately move me forward to the next interview, which had always been my experience internally before, but her confidence made me feel optimistic. Now it's been over a week with complete silence. I followed up politely, acknowledged timelines can shift, and asked whether there were any updates or anything else I could provide. No response. At this point, I assume I'm no longer being considered. My question is, if I eventually receive a rejection email, is it appropriate to respond saying, I figured that out when you ghosted me? In a more polite and professional way, of course, and ask what changed between you'll likely move forward and complete silence? Or if I never receive a response at all, is it worth escalating feedback about the experience to the recruiter's manager? My husband thinks I should let it go because I don't want to burn bridges internally. And logically, I know he's probably right.
You've been there 10 years. You're not burning bridges. Like that's got to count for something.
Yeah. But I can't shake the feeling that if I treated a coworker this way, set expectations, and disappeared, it would absolutely be viewed as unprofessional. Part of me also wonders whether my ego is just bruised. I feel a little like I'm back in college overanalyzing mixed signals from someone who clearly isn't interested, but occasionally says just enough to keep you hopeful. Am I valid in feeling frustrated by the lack of communication, or am I taking this too personally? Thank you for always being such a thoughtful sounding board. Best, Jenna.
Well, 2 things. One, I'm not saying this as like a bad thing. Like, you're desperate. You really want this job because the one that you have right now is kind of not tenable. It's not really working. You had a nice situation and then you shifted to this job for a little bit of money, but you're not comfortable. So you really wanted this job to make working at this company. So you were not desperate, but you were really hoping to get this job because it means a lot versus like just getting a new job that would feel good. The person who said that to you should not have said it. It's kind of like when you get like a CAT scan, the technician can't say anything about what they see because that's not the doctor. So you weren't interviewing. She shouldn't have said that, but she did, which is unprofessional. You weren't interviewing with someone who had the power to say yes. So you put a lot of weight on it. I'll never forget, I made my first pilot for VH1 and it was a really good pilot and I was really young. And the executive who worked for, like not the studio, but like was on our team, she was not a part of the team that would say yes at the network. For no reason, she looked at me and she goes, if this pilot doesn't get picked up, you can punch me in the face. And I still owe her a big fucking punch in the face. And there was no reason, like we were all feeling really good, but there was no reason to say that. And I think people are on your side and are optimistic, so they want it for you. And she either did not get the go ahead or she's still waiting. You're angry because she gave you false hope. And she is acting unprofessional, but it also might not be up to her. She might be dying for this feedback and they're just not giving back to her. I think you are well within your rights to inquire, not about her professionalism, but what contributing factors there were for you being rejected, so that you could at least work on something or let them know you're not going without a fight. Emily, over to you.
Yes, because you say she's been there 10 years, so she has some weight to throw around. But also, you've been there 10 years. You clearly like it and you do want to keep those bridges unburned. So I do think it's exactly what you said, Iliza, about like this person didn't have the power. I think that people in these interviewing situations right now are so uncomfortable. Everyone is so desperate for work and they just have to have a conversation with you. And even if they know you're not a fit, just keep talking to you. Like, I feel like sometimes I'll talk to a weirdo somewhere and be like, oh yeah, we should totally get together. And then I'm never going to talk to them again, because it's like, why would I? I think that's not to say that you didn't do a great job, but they could have had a CEO's nephew who wanted a job. There's a million things that could have happened. Don't burn the bridge over this, but you're not wrong for kind of reaching out to get clarification. And if she does reply, I think instead of just being like, yeah, you ghosted me, being like, well, I'd love to know what I can, what areas of my resume or my skill set I can brush up to be in consideration for similar roles in the future, I think is fair to ask.
Yeah, but I mean, if I had $1 for everyone who like gave me false hope.
Well, that's the thing, is nobody really has any power, but they want to seem like they do. So the person
or she really was on your side and she just couldn't get an answer.
Or they've pulled funding for the role, or they're talking to 15 other people, or they have to interview this other person one more time. There could have been a million things that went wrong. So I don't think it's a bad idea to kind of keep things positive until you get confirmation.
Yeah. I'm sorry though. That's really annoying.
Iliza, do you want to help me? Live reply to an email.
Yes. Let's make a segment. It's called Live Reply. Live right now.
For everybody, some of you have probably been hit with this. There's a scam that's been going around for probably close to a year now, months and months, where people represent the podcast. They say, come on the podcast. I'm this person. Yeah. I'm a booker for this podcast.
I have gotten a lot of like F-list like internet people that are verified, that are like, hey, is this real? I'm like, do you know me? Have we ever talked? Why would it be real? Do you know anything about my podcast? Why would I be having a turtle expert on my podcast?
But it's really sad when I've seen ones where it's like a small business owner, a female small business owner that thought like Chelsea Handler wanted them on the podcast. It's like, no, it gets people's hopes up, but it's all a lie. So a smart rep reached out to Ask Iliza Anything, or CC'd in Ask Iliza Anything or Ask Iliza Podcast, like, hey, fake booker who calls themselves Joe Carter, and they have a whole footer with Kara's address and the yellow show art. Okay,
Kara's
so
my manager.
It's not up to date. Manager's address. So they pulled an address from your site and this fake Gmail and like link out to your site, Twitter, your Instagram. Like they have a whole footer. It's such bullshit. But this smart person reached out and said, hey, if I'm going to put this proposal to my client, I need confirmation from the official Iliza. You can reach out to her from Eliza's official account. And I just replied to this person like, yeah, definitely a scammer. Thanks for catching it. Da, da, da.
We would never want to work with your client.
Well, so this was, I know it was kind of awkward to be like, yeah, no, that wasn't us. We wouldn't. But that wasn't
anyway.
So this was in May. We just got a reply from the fake booker to the manager saying, thanks for pointing that out. Completely understand your concern. The email you received is from an outreach and booking email I use specifically for guest coordination. For clarity, the appearance is a paid virtual guest feature, and we provide $1,000 FIFA promotional bonus as part of the collaboration. I appreciate your time and consideration. I'd be happy to answer any additional questions. Best regards. Now, this dumbass kept us CC'd in. So I want to say to them like, hi, Joe, you are not a representative of the podcast or Iliza, like, please cease and desist.
Yeah, but they'll just be like, oh, I'm a bot from like India.
I get
I'm
it's
not
probably,
in our feelings.
But I'm just like, wow, now they have me CC'd in on it. Like, yes, we're paying guests and we're giving you $1,000. What's a FIFA promotional bonus? Is it $1,000 worth of soccer balls?
I wouldn't even think about, I mean, even if you shame this person, they have no shame. Like, what are you doing, Emily?
I just
What
want
are you
to
gonna do?
be like, I'm seeing this. Stop. I know you're doing this.
Just be like, hey, Joe, or whatever this bot's name is. We know this is a scam. Literally everyone in legitimate podcasting knows this. You should be fucking embarrassed. Lose this email, or there's no or, but should be like, lose this email, you fucking loser. Bye.
I might just
Who
say,
cares?
you're not a representative of the podcast, or Iliza, cut it out. Does that feel
Okay,
ominous?
cool. No. Be like, hey, we know that this is a scam / an AI chatbot, but everyone who's legitimate in podcasting knows this isn't real. So go steal money from old ladies or something. Have a great day.
Did you
Eat
see
shit.
the beekeeper?
Can we answer questions? I didn't see the. Oh, I know about the beekeeper, and no, I didn't see it.
I just thought, I was like, how brave of them to address the scamming of the elderly.
Yeah.
All right,
brave.
we could do questions. I thought we'd have some fun together. Hello, longtime listener, first time question asker. I have a fun, not so serious question for you. I need your take on a long-time debate between my wife, 41, and I, 27, female. My wife and I have been together for 4.5 years, married for almost 3. Around the time when we first officially began dating, I changed her name in my phone contacts from her real name to my darling heart emoji. Corny, I know. Up until a month ago, my name was in her contacts as my legal first and last name. We've discussed it amongst ourselves and with her fellow high school friends, and they tend to agree with her. They say something along the lines of, that's your name, right? I feel like being a significant other or spouse means you rate an endearing name in your partner's phone. Just a month ago, I added my beautiful wife in front of my name in her phone to mess with her. She hasn't changed it back, lol. What's your take on this? Is it a generational difference given she is an elder millennial and I am Gen Z? Does your significant other get an endearing name in your phone, or are they forever listed by their government name? Seeking your millennial and elder millennial wisdom, you can use my real first name. Thanks, Grace.
Oh, Grace. I don't think it's generational. I think it's personality dependent. I think, are you the kind of person that's like, my wifey, wifed up, hubs, husbala? Like, I think of what's the name that I'm going to want a paramedic to have to search for. So I have Noah, and then under it, I have my husband, so that if God forbid something happened, however, you would know. Yeah, look at that. My husband, he's my emergency contact. That way, if I'm like, hit the emergency contact, you know that it's my husband. And then there's these like emojis that I put so I can find his name easily. Like if I have a bunch of chats, I also have them for Emily. She has lollipops by her name. My assistant has bows. That way, like you visually can go to it. But I'm not, that's not something I would do. I would never be like, my squishmallow. But if you are, then you are. I also think you shouldn't put it on the spouse. Like if your spouse doesn't want to do that, like that's their phone. It should be what makes that. You don't want them to be inauthentic. So I think it's not a generational thing. Because if it was generational, your parents would just have your name in all caps as like daughter, emergency, ellipses.
Yeah. I actually, you know what, for a little bit, I actually had my parents in as their like human names, but then I changed it back to mom and dad because I was like, well, I want, if I keel over, I want you to look at the phone and figure out who would be a good bet of who to call.
I think it's just
starting
kind
with
of
the A's.
Yeah, got put in as whatever. My mom is in my phone as Mom Cell, but my dad is in there as Fred Schlesinger. I don't know why.
Mom Cell.
Mom Cell.
Hi, Liza. My husband and I have gotten to see you live at twice now. Once in Portland, Maine, our hometown, and again this past year in Medford, Massachusetts.
I love Maine. I love Massachusetts, but I love going to Maine.
Thank you for
You make
bringing us
no money, but it is such a fun. It's so fun to go to Portland.
Thank you for bringing us so many laughs together. We have listened to every episode of the podcast and look forward to a new episode each week. What a good couples activity.
It really is. That's what we should suggest. People are like, what do we do for
Sit
anniversary?
side by side. Play Ask
let's
Iliza
ask.
anything.
There you go.
Now for the situation. My sister, I'll call her Ivy, is about to move in with her boyfriend C of 4 years. She is a professional ballet dancer, as am I, and her boyfriend is in med school. She is switching ballet companies, and he is moving into his transitional year, so they were able to line up their lives so they can be in the same state this year. They're both young. She is 23, he is 26, and seem, for the most part, very happy together. The problem: his parents are ultra conservative, ultra controlling, and very traditional. C's dad is Iranian and his mom is very Catholic. They cannot stand that their son is in a relationship with a super progressive young Jewish ballet dancer. As recently as last night, they sat him down and told him that he needs to break up with her because she is obviously just after his money. She is not. They've also expressed concerns about her fertility because she's slender and athletic. I found this weird and invasive, especially since it was brought up by the dad. Ew! He has not told his parents that they are moving in together and doesn't plan on it. He's terrified of his parents and eager to please them. He relays these conversations with Ivy, but in no way gives her reassurance he is standing up for her. My sister had to beg him to live in the same apartment in their new city. Originally, he wanted them to live separately. Ivy deserves to be with someone that is going to choose her first, despite the parents. I fear that C is just a big baby and will chicken out once they live together because he doesn't want to upset his family. She is uprooting her life to be with him, and I'm honestly worried he just kind of sucks and is too immature because I am the big sister. I am asking big sister for some advice on how I can save her from a broken heart. Thanks. And I'm going to name you Fern.
Fern, she's a professional ballet dancer and she's moving to his city.
So they're both lining up in a city because she
both
is switching companies. So she's switching to a company and he's transitional. So they're both purposefully, though, clearly organizing their schedules to be in the same city, but it's going to be for like a year.
Okay. As long as it's a good move for her, because you only have a few years as a ballerina. Mm-hmm. So as long as that is a good company, it's not a lateral, like as long as that's good for her, mm-hmm. and let's say that it is, this situation will crystallize. I'm sorry. It will take care of itself. She loves him so much and she's just willing to deal with a lot of this, but I think it will become very clear very soon once they're living together if this is a tenable situation. And I think it is worth it. I mean, this is why people marry people from their own culture. And I'm not saying it's always going to work out, but this is why people do arranged marriages. This is why people tend to look within their own culture because it's one less thing that you have to explain. And they don't like her because she's Jewish. Not that there aren't Iranian Jews and not that there aren't Catholics who are tolerant, but they have a lot working against them. And he has money. So they're always going to think that any girl is after that. So this kid, she can't force him to grow up. And if she's not worth him growing up for, then you could put it to her that way. It's not going to get any easier. But I think things will materialize once they move in together, once the parents make it difficult, once the parents give him an ultimatum, once they say he can't have his money. I think this will shake out and it's just going to be a hard lesson she's going to have to learn because she doesn't know to expect that someone treat her better. This is what your 20s are for. Being in love with someone that is just like, being in a relationship that's just untenable because you want the idealized version of it, not realizing that you will be signing up for in-laws that hate you and mega cultural differences. And when you're younger, you're like, I don't care. And then those things become important. You can't do it for her.
I think I would want to play out the scenario of, because he wasn't even willing to move in together, but now, okay, he's agreed to it. Is he he's going to lie about that to his parents for the whole year? How long is that going to last? So they can never visit? If they come to town, will she have to hide all her stuff and go stay somewhere else? What's his plan long term? Is he not going to marry her because they don't want him to?
And is she going to be begging him to marry her? And what's his plan when they're like, we're cutting you off financially? And then he's going to have to pick that over her. But I'm saying it doesn't matter because she's going to be like, I love him. We'll make it work. Like on my ballerina salary. You have to say all these things calmly, say your piece, but then she has to make her own decisions. That's all you can do.
That's the thing. I think the one thing, if I'm the sister wanting to be big sister, as long as she is not giving up this very specific career, which she's not. Now, she's clearly changing probably to be with him, but she's still doing ballet. So fine. As long as she's not wrecking her own future for him,
She might
there's not
be.
a lot you can do.
What if she's leaving from like San Francisco to go to like Cincinnati and join that ballet company? Like, we don't have that information. Can you talk to him and be like, she's so special, but if you're not willing to fight for her, like, she will leave you, and like lie? What about your parents? What do they say?
Ugh.
There's nothing wrong with making yourself heard. It sounds like you guys are close. But the truth is, because she's 23, she obviously knows everything in the world. So she'll just be like, no, we'll make it work. You have to let her make that mistake. There's nothing you can do about it. Sorry.
Yeah. That's crazy though, too. Also, the dad being like, you too skinny to have my son's kids? Get out of here.
You're like, I am. For now, I'm a
Go
ballerina.
watch
But
Black
also,
Swan and get out of here.
I bet this guy's so hot and rich, which sounds great.
I mean, this doctor guy,
You're
a doctor and a ballerina.
could be great.
I feel
Could
like you
be
gotta have
forbidden
some
love.
like riz to get a ballerina.
You don't fucking need that at 23 to be like embarrassed, like ashamed, like not ashamed, but like hiding from your boyfriend's parents. And they're just looking out for him. They're like, culturally, we're not the same, and love kind of isn't enough. And maybe they're wrong. And maybe it should be great. But the bigger issue is him not being like, this is the woman that I love. This is who I'm dying to be with. You should be like, he should be dying to live with her. She deserves better.
Stop trying to get a look at her womb and back the hell off.
But like, yo, come visit him when you need a nose job a little bit later. Go see him.
We think that's that kind of doctor?
I don't know.
He could be like doing heart surgery.
Fine, let him
Or,
deliver the baby you
like,
have with your new
important
husband.
things. Ugh,
Come see him with your broken heart.
OBGYNs. Don't they
Male
make like crazy
OBGYN.
money? OBGYNs?
I don't know. They should.
I mean, they all should. All those jobs are so
Yeah.
hard.
For real.
Hi, Ellipses and Emily, my 2 Wednesday besties. AIA has been my favorite podcast for probably 5 years, and I've learned a lot over the years. I feel like I grew with you guys, laughed a lot, cried a little, and really enjoyed our time together. Like I said, besties. Because I hate typing in English and I don't want to sound like an idiot, I haven't sent a question yet. I used to try and imagine what you guys would say when I was having dilemmas or life was happening, and that would usually be enough, but it's time. I have a big one. I am female, 37, and a single mom to the most beautiful, hilarious, and life-changing son you could even imagine. He is 1 year and 9 months old and is by far the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Aw.
Getting pregnant was a huge surprise and completely changed the course of my life. I was living overseas for almost 7 years when I got knocked up by my ex-boyfriend. We hadn't been together in years, but he was coming through town and I hosted him. We will not be getting back together, and that's not what the question is about. I always imagine that if and when I will want to have a baby, it won't be easy, as I am not the healthiest person ever and not so young, but this baby was meant to be born. We slept together only once, we were careful, and 7 weeks later I threw up in an Uber. What a beautiful story to tell your child. Before the birth, I moved back to my home country, moved in with my parents, and have been living here ever since. They have a little rental unit, but we are basically living together with them. Now my son is 21 months old. I have a great job, some old friends who I see on weekends mostly, some new ones who I met in mom groups, at the park, kids' activities. Compared to my pre-mom life, my world is very small, calm, and let's say local. Most days I am managing single motherhood pretty well. Me and son's dad get along great. Although we don't live in the same country, we meet every few months. Either he comes here or we fly there, lots of video calls, and he chips in financially. Because of specific laws here, he is not written on the birth certificate, so help from him is completely his choice, not forced.
Okay.
We live in quite a conservative community for now, and I only have one single mom friend. She had her son from a sperm donor. Everyone else is all coupled up and have a lot of kids, between 3 to 4, and still going. Here is my big life-altering question. Do I have a second child? So now she's breaking down why not and why yes. Why not?
What country is this? I need to know.
I know, this small conservative country. Actually, I'll Google her area code in a second because her phone number is in here. Okay, so why not? Pregnancy and birth were hard. It was considered high-risk pregnancy. I had an emergency C-section where they put me under and I didn't see my baby for almost 10 hours after giving birth. A very traumatizing experience. Life is expensive. I have to move out of my parents' home in the summer and start renting my own apartment with all those expenses, plus childcare, a car, etc. My baby's dad is not obligated by law to support us, so I can only hope he continues, but can't count on it. Truthfully, it's all on me. I also feel like life is balanced when it's one-on-one. I'm able to afford to be present and happy most of the time, not an angry, overstressed mom. And I just don't know how I could handle one more. How do I get 2 in the car, put 2 to bed, deal with 2 tantrums? I don't want to be angry, frustrated, tired, which I think I might become easily when things get rough. I'm already working on myself to be more calm and positive and loving and as chill as I can be. So now why yes? I'm scared I'll regret it. Having only one child is extremely rare in my country and culture. I literally don't know anyone who doesn't have siblings and no young families with only one.
Yeah, but you also don't know anyone who doesn't have a partner. One person.
Just one, yeah. People keep telling me to just go for it and I will work it out, all the usual stuff. My son will love a sibling. They'll share the burden of taking care of me as I age. Oh God, that's not why you have a kid. It's a chance to have a daughter, which is a dream of mine. I think about it all the time. Do I try and have another one with baby daddy? Should I just be happy with what I have? If I stay close to my family, I can't afford help, but I have them. If I move back to baby daddy's country, I could afford help, but disconnect my son from my family, and he loves my parents and his cousins. Because I got pregnant accidentally, I never had to make this big decision to have a kid alone or not. It just happened, but I want to be more intentional with our lives now that I'm responsible for someone else. I'm 37. I don't have lots of time to wait. I don't expect you to answer this for me because how could you? But I would love to hear the advice you would give me and hope it'll help. Thank you so much for reading. I hope this wasn't too incoherent. Lots of love. I'm going to name you Kirstie Alley and Look Who's Talking.
Kirstie Alley and Look Who's Talking. For someone who's afraid to write in English, that was pretty great.
So well written.
That was great. It feels like a Latin country. It has to be a Latin country because I don't know of a conservative country in Asia where it feels Latin. Family is so important when you're raising kids if you have access to them. It really is so helpful. Obviously, we can't tell you what to do with your life, but I can tell you I understand wanting to have 2. And I understand that clock ticking. And I will tell you, it is hard. It is when I'm just with one child, I'm like, this is a breeze. It is markedly more difficult, especially with a newborn, especially with your other child being so young. It does get easier, but it does get harder before it gets easier. So yes, there is a time where they do play together. It is hard to put 2 kids in the car. It is hard to deal with 2, and especially because they'll be on different schedules for a little bit. Definitely people with less than you do it with more kids. I don't know what kind of job you have. I don't know about your quality of life. I do think it's worth talking to the father because you can have a kid with another man, but it would be nice if it was the same guy because at least there's a connection there. And maybe his parents would come visit. I don't think you're not together with this person. So I don't think you should move to another country to be with him because you have no connection. And he could very easily just be like, I'm done. I don't care. So it's great that he does care. It's worth talking about that with him. Not that this man needs to dictate how you live the rest of your life, but if you are thinking of doing it, I would try to do it with him so that there is some connective tissue there. But I would not move there, even if you guys started dating. I think you should move to where you are because you're not married. There's no financial obligation. That's what I will say to you. You have to weigh the options and just weigh it knowing that it will get easier eventually, but it is hard. It is a lot.
Well, let's go ahead and rule out 2 things, which are, let's think about 2 things. What if it's another boy? Are you disappointed?
Do you have access to, it doesn't sound like you do, to some sort of medical
IVF
thing? Yeah, where you can decide.
Because if it's another boy and you go, well, I wish I hadn't had this kid. Also,
and you don't believe in abortion.
Right. Do not listen to anyone telling you they'll take care of when you're old. That's not a reason to have a kid. That's
Ever.
not.
And I understand the need, especially if you had siblings, it's normal to have a sibling. I always thought I would have 2 kids. I never thought I was going to stop at 1. It's all about how you see your future and building that future, Do you want to meet someone? It's probably a little bit harder to meet someone if you have 2 kids. Are you all in on just being a mom? You don't care. It's a tough thing to, especially for women. It's like, I'd better do it now because then what if I can't in the future? We can't answer these things for you, but we can help you weigh out the options.
Yeah, right. And I like that our question asker admitted, like, I know you can't answer it. And it sucks to not be sure, but it's a lot working against you.
A lot of women do it. I would say if you are going to do it, try to do it with the father of that child. Yeah. I would not do it with the father unless you're going to like be with someone. That's just a lot of weird drama and genetics and families. And you meet someone you want to have a baby, great. Maybe you can try dating, but you don't want to be the woman that has what?
I would also be really curious if you talk to you have family there who's helping out. Now, if you had a second kid, would they be willing to help with both kids? You know, how old are they? Would they have a hard time with 2 kids? Like, don't
Can you
just
afford
count
help?
on, yeah.
So
it's expensive.
It's probably cheaper there. It's been done before. Women with less do more with kids, but it's about quality of life. You will be tired. You will be angry. There are moments, like it is the hardest thing ever. And I love every minute of it. It doesn't mean that when Noah's gone, that I'm not like kind of a shitty version of myself.
Yeah.
Your kid wakes up at 3 a.m. You're going to have a rough day. And that's just what it is. But you did it once.
Yeah.
And in 5 years, it won't have mattered because you'll have like a 4 and a 5-year-old. So you're retired anyway. All right. Next question.
This question is just a series of words I'm going to read to you, Iliza.
Okay.
Will you ever bring back the weekly news? PR, where's the Mexican? Cocaine Bear, I made it to level 5. Gramo, Dave in Minnesota. Would you like to?
Oh, wow, Dave.
This is a die hard. Would you like to give a little backdrop as to your origins? And
gosh, when I was like 23,
origins, but
I had one of the first like streaming shows. I was a guest on there was a network called the Stream.tv. And this guy, Brian Gramo, created this and it was streaming. This is before YouTube. And you could stream your own show, like a TV show. And I was a guest on someone's show and I went on it hoping to get my own. And Brian emailed me. He was like, that was great. If you ever want to stream, let me know. And I was like, you fucking betcha. So I started the weekly news and it was a weekly WAKY. And we would just do commentary on the news. And I thought it was very funny to wear a blazer, which I still have. But then I was just wearing my underwear, which I'm sure the bulk of people tuned in because I was in my underwear. At the time, like I thought it was more funny than anything else. And now looking back, I'm like, oh, that's what it was. But we had gibberish. We'd yell PR. It was just like gibberish from my mind. I had my cat. My friend Alexis was my cohort. And the cool thing was we had a live chat that she would man, which I think is a really cool part of streaming that people don't really seem to do. So you had like a built-in audience. We did it for years.
And then it was part of your show. I loved your ABC show, Forever 31. I loved that show. I thought that was such a great show.
Thank you. It was. I don't even think you could find it now. When ABC, when all the networks were going digital, with their digital brands, there was ABCD, which was such a great name. It was ABC Digital. And we created a show called Forever 31. And it was about 2 best friends navigating like dating in LA. And they had a web show with like a super hot guy friend. And it was all about that. I had Theo Vaughn on it and like a guest episode.
Did you? Wait.
He would we had like these like fake Webby awards and he like won.
Oh, when he was the host at that theater.
I don't know if you could even find it, but it was a really fun show.
I know. I'm like looking for it and it's all dead links, but I loved that show. It was on the like ABCD. Yeah, digital.
Yeah. All the thing. I mean, this just shows you like at the end of the day, have real relationships with real people because everything that you make will turn to dust.
This was 10 years ago. There's an article from 2016. It says, from the likes of Ty Burrell, Iliza Schlesinger, and more exciting new talent, ABC presents its brand new ABCD original series.
It was gone just as fast as it appeared, and it was such a good show. And I'm still friends with that showrunner.
That's where you met Corinne, who I love. Like, I was your assistant at the time, and I just remember what a lovely experience that was because I thought it was so funny and
it was
so well done.
Ago?
It was 2016.
Yeah, because that was the first time we showed Party Goblin as a real character. And that's
Yes.
all the artwork that you guys have made is based off of that
That-
version of her with
And
the
you were in a
fishnets and the cup.
roof, like a room on a hot roof in like Cheetos and debris.
If you Google Ellipses Party Goblin, the image comes up of me in that green face paint. That's who that was. Oh, I don't want to think about it. It makes me sad. All my shots.
I loved
melted
it.
away.
Okay, let's do top
Let's
of
do
the
a micro.
cob.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
A micro cob. No, we've gotten so many cobs. Like, people have been like sending us more questions, but we've also been getting more and more cobs. So we got to get into some of them.
If you do have questions, something you're thinking about, you know what? Even if you don't speak English, that's okay. We'll figure it out. You can send them to
The
Ask
people
Ellipses.
who say that always speak the best English.
It's always the best. Lo mejor. Ask Ellipses podcast. So ASK Ellipses podcast at gmail.com. Send us in your questions. We will get to them. Emily will get to them.
ASK.
Okay, top of
It's
the
not the Ass Eliza podcast.
Why did I say that? Ask. Why would I say
ASK. I don't know. You said
ASK ILIZA. Right. Podcast at Gmail.
ILIZA. PODCAST No, GMAIL. Oh God, let's do cobs.
Just a talk with a cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
This is related to all these smelly people, smelly mouths. BOTC, having to have an abscess tooth pulled. Find out afterwards. They don't take your insurance. Bottom, getting fired from your job the day after getting your tooth pulled after 2.5 years and almost 300,000 miles driven for them.
First of all, you had to get it pulled regardless. And of course,
Yeah.
insurance didn't cover it because American insurance companies don't consider the mouth a part of your body.
I know.
But that's fucked up.
Or
But
teeth.
at least you got the tooth gone. At least you got the tooth gone. At least you pulled that tooth. Better
got
to
that
be
tooth
unemployed and not in pain. But I'm so sorry.
Yes.
That's a fucking scam.
Sorry. If I tell you a gross bottom of the cob, are you gonna judge me? Yeah, you are. But I'm gonna. Okay, I'll tell you. I've had a real gnat problem, like fruit fly, like whatever the teeny tiny little guys that come in the summer.
Yeah.
I took
it?
the trash
Oh,
out
okay.
the other day, and underneath the bag, maggots.
Why, Emily? What was
I
under
don't
the bag?
know. I'm sure some
you dropped
little
some-
amount of moisture. There was like some weird
You
liquid down
blame
there.
a
I didn't even
lot
know what
on
it
moisture.
was.
They're not
There
eating
was some-
moisture.
There was some liquid down there. I couldn't even tell what it was. I just wound up spraying my sink hose into the trash can and sozzling it around. But
Isn't that what maggots are? Fruit flies? Like they start as maggots.
they start as
fruit flies.
maggots. Yeah. So there were fucking maggots in the bottom of the can. And I was just like, it's such a horrible thing to
Why?
see their bodies.
Seeing small things going around. Why are people who are not against people who are MAGA not calling them maggots?
They do. MAGATS. They do.
Okay, cool.
Don't worry.
Cool. Good.
Don't worry.
I'm
But you
not
know what's
worried.
cute? An inchworm. I love an inchworm, but maggots are too small and white and squirmy.
Well, they also eat guts.
Disgusting. They make you think of rot and decay.
That's what they do. They come out of eyeballs on skulls. Hi.
They come out of eyeballs, yeah.
What do you think of maggots? What's a maggot?
I don't know.
Do you want to
Good.
see a maggot?
No.
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Don't show her.
I'm not gonna, where am I going to show? I'm not at your house.
Google.
Not in your refrigerator.
I'm not saying we
in
pick
your
a real
sock
one.
drawer.
What's your bottom?
My bottom of the cob is a big sandwich, and I'll tell you why. Okay.
Oh. Biteability?
I'm not going to say where we went because I'm not going to shame this place and because it was like tasty. Noah and I went out of our way to get the sandwich that he was told by people he trusts that he loves it. Everything's made for the internet now. People don't think about biteability and practicality. When I buy an expensive sandwich and like a famous sandwich, if the bread is, if I'm having to go like this in my teeth to get through the bread, or if it's too thick, or when I squeeze it, all the shit comes out of the bottom, don't pile it high with fixings. Give me
Make
a
it
couple
wider.
slices of turkey. I just,
Not higher.
this is not value. How much fucking mortadella can a person eat? I know the answer is a lot, but I don't even like it. And it's always an off-season tomato, and it always squirts out, and there's just
They
liquid
think
everywhere.
they can hide it. They're like, it's in the sandwich. You're not going to notice the tomato's kind of gray.
It
or
always
white.
comes out. Your hands are covered. You're like, what? Why? Who is biting into this and enjoying themselves? And the bread always scratches the top of your mouth. Just giant sandwiches. Like only idiots are like, look at the value. You're like, cool. Have fun fucking reeking on your flight home. Because you
A
ate it in the
sandwich
parking
can
lot.
be the best food in the world, but they have a real architectural problem.
Truer
I agree.
words. Top of the cob.
Top of the cup. This was very sweet. Somebody wrote in and said they got a glowing review from a happy client today. I love my job as a childcare provider and I'm very passionate about it. It's nice to know that the kids and parents appreciate what I do. And she shared a screenshot of a Yelp review where it's somebody who said, like, we had the pleasure of having Miss Blank care for our 2 young daughters. She was thoughtful. Like, it's a really beautiful review. I think when somebody gives you genuine feedback about what you did right, that feels so good. And it's just
It's so
what a
rare.
great top of the cob.
Because usually it's just bad feedback. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. My top of the cob is I got through like 3 loads of laundry. Now, do I still have 2 more? Yes. But I got through 3 and I bought these vacuum seal bags so I can put some stuff in there and put it away so that I don't just have all this stuff that I know I'm not going to wear for a while. So
I love that.
I have
I'm
a
looking
plan.
at my top of the cob.
I have a plan.
My top of the cob. As we get older, there are a lot of things that you kind of just have to take laying down. Like, yes, you can get surgery or injections for your wrinkles. And if your hair is thinning, like you can do a pill or something, but there's just like a lot of stuff, like little micro things. And I had a lot of events this year and I'd always get a spray tan, and I get a spray tan because you look thinner and more toned on a red carpet. And the reason it matters on a carpet is because there's a lot of lights. So you get washed out. I'm a very, very fair skinned person. I'm not redheaded fair skin, but I am very, very light. Like it's just Emily and I are almost the same color. She's got purple undertones. I have yellow undertones, whatever. And there was an article, I think in the New Yorker recently, that was basically positing, like, does a spray tan fix everything? And it kind of does. Like, you just feel better when you're tan. I would love to be like Elle Fanning and I just lean into how porcelain it is, but it doesn't look like that for me. And you do run the risk of when you like have fake eyelashes. If you see yourself without the eyelashes, you think you look ugly. Like that's a thing nowadays where if you don't see the fake thing on you, you start to feel bad. But I love having the tan. And I often don't wear skirts or dresses because I get so tired of people commenting how pale I am, which is just so shitty because it's like, this is what it is. And I was like, I wonder if I could do something about it. And I asked one of my friends who works in beauty and she was like, get this thing. She's like, why don't you just do tan drops? And I was like, probably because they give you cancer, like doesn't everything. And a friend of mine was like, and we went back and forth with all the different ones. Spray tan stuff will always smell. You will always smell like dirt and cookies, but it's a small price to pay for looking fucking fabulous. I bought this stuff called Dolce Glow by Isabel Alicia. Don't know who it is. I'm not endorsing it. I'm telling you, I bought it. It was not inexpensive. This one says it's $36, but I think the one I got was more expensive. Maybe this one's smaller. And it's a spray, right? I'm a little blown out because these lights, I haven't used it in a few days. 8 hours later, my face looked tan and it was the perfect sun-kissed tan. And I'm going to keep doing it. So I'm just going to become a person that's known as having a tan face. Because then I had bought like tan makeup and I like tan my face with my button. And I just feel like I look so pretty. So my top of the cob is taking my beauty into my own hands and doing something that is not a permanent change, but that makes me feel good. It's these tanning drops. And if you go over to our Patreon, if you subscribe to it, this Friday, I will share with you the dark side, literally,
God.
of those tanning drops. See you Friday.